And I am live. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me just double check on that. Let me check this. Going live on YouTube. Feel free to say hi in the comments. We'll start in about 3 or 4 minutes or so. Just give people some time to arrive. Hopefully people will show up, although I know we've got TBR Con on today. Hi, Jenny. Oh, it's so wonderful to see you again. I'm so excited. I have finally got my new laptop and I'm ready to kind of come back and do live streams and things. But today I'm really excited for my reveal. I've got my PowerPoint all ready. So I'm super excited to share with you guys. What books are you reading, Jenny? Hey, Bert. Good to see you. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. No, unfortunately I wouldn't be clever enough to be a professor in anything. But I thought I should do this properly since I'm doing this for this charity. So hopefully it works. I've never done this with StreamYard. So we'll see how it goes. We'll just wait another couple minutes, see who turns up. As I said, I think a lot of people are going to be watching TBR Con, but hopefully the word spreads because it's a charitable project. I'm really excited for it, and hopefully people can catch up that have missed it, and hopefully we can raise the funds because I really believe in this little project, and I'm so excited. It's only 36 days. It's exactly 5 weeks today, I believe, that I'm getting on a plane. I won't arrive in Nepal until the following day, but I'm going to see my best friend in Qatar. We've been best friends for the last few years. I met him at this place, Rock UK. So I'm super excited. Thank you guys for hanging out. Ooh, Harry Potter 3 and Nevernight 3. I need to start Nevernight, but I've got Empire of the Vampire. I can actually see it from my bed. But at the moment, I'm reading the wonderful Janny Wirtz. And look at this mug she sent me. It's a mashup of her covers for the first book. So this is like the new cover that she made for book 1, Curse of the Mistwraith. And then this is the original cover. And she sent this all the way from America, and it's amazing. It's like absolutely massive. I've just had a hot chocolate in it reading the book. I'm obsessed with this series right now. It is amazing. You guys, if you ever get the chance, read Janny Wirtz. It's so worth it. I'm not sure how many people gonna come, so we'll give it another couple minutes. I'll put the notice out on Twitter. But if not, we'll start, and I can't wait to share with you guys. I'm just going to share this to Twitter. Come check out my live stream for my fundraising challenge. Link below. Twitter doesn't like links for some reason, so I think I've been shouting into the void a lot, unfortunately. Let me... I need to go on YouTube, get the link. Oh, we've also got Matt on Books on. I feel like I've picked a really bad time to go live because everybody's watching other things, but yeah, my headphones just turned off. View my channel. I'm gonna share the link on Twitter. Right, 3 people. Literally, well, you need to read. Jenny works. You can get the audiobooks, Jenny. If you love audiobooks or if you don't have time, I find the best way to read is to read more books is to listen to audio. And they've just announced that finally, after so many years, they're going to do Curse and Mystery for audio. I can't believe it. What publisher goes, oh, yes, we're going to do audiobooks, but we're going to start with book flipping 10. Who's going to, you need to attract new readers, right? And as far as I knew, like a couple of months back, January was saying like it's basically like pretty much impossible at this stage. Um, like there's no chance. Even if I suggested maybe like the fans can raise the funds to buy back the rights, like they wouldn't even sell them. Like not even if we could raise an amount that they would want. But it's like stupid. They were keeping the rights to the audio but refusing to produce it. And then out of the blue, we've just heard that they're doing it, which is amazing. And her last book, Songs of the Mysteries, is out this year in May. I'm super excited for that. Anyway, with 3 of you here, I think we're going to start. We've been going for 6 minutes now. So let me just get this set up with the presentation. The slideshow presenter view. I've got fancy animations and everything. Right, so let me share my screen. No. So I'm going to share this screen. So this is my Lobaje Challenge 2024. That's what I'm calling it, because that mountain right there, that beastly beast of a mountain, is called Lobache, and that's the thing I'm climbing in just over a month. And as you can see there, I am fundraising for the Pihar Trust in Nepal, and this is a picture of me with saying my name, the adventurer Matthew Higgins. So I know all of you guys know me that are here on this live stream, but for those of you that don't know me, hi, I'm Matt, and here's a sensible picture of me. This is the picture I would use if I was an author. But I'm also known as Miggins, and that's what you guys can call me. And this is me with one of my favorite drinks, Bailey's, being a little bit that's sort of my Miggins personality, the chaos and the fun things that we love. Yes, hobnobs, Jenny, we love it. And mountains are my happy place, and they always have been. And this picture here is a very special sort of story behind it. This is one of my favorite spots in the UK. It's called the Lake District, and it's honestly like kind of the only place I've felt at home in the UK, really. And this is me in September of this year in a place called Borrowdale. It's this lovely valley which is very isolated, but it also holds the biggest peak in the UK, also in England, Scafell Pike. And so this is me on the day where we didn't intend to climb the highest mountain in England, but we ended up doing it, and it's a great viewpoint. And it was my last time there before I leave the UK. But you can see me there enjoying my happy place. So this is me. As you can see, I've always been a bit of an adventurer. This is me when I was about 5 years old on the top of Cat Bells in the Lake District. Sorry, Jenny. I do love, I think you from Wales, right? I think it's Wales. Anyway, or Scotland. I love both of them, but the Lake District holds my heart. And this is me on top of Cat Bells. I'm about 5 here. As you can see, I've always had it in my heart. And there's me, my sister, and my mum. We were about 11 years old or so, and we climbed up Scotland. There you go. Yeah, I did go in Scotland last year. So here's me in this picture when I was about 11, and we were climbing up with our friend Dave, who lives in the Lake District, and he led us up Helvellyn in the snow, and we saw a guy in the snow cave, which was really, really cool. Although you can see, I don't know what happened in between when I was 5 and when I was 11, but I definitely wasn't as fit as I was when I was 5. And since those days, I've spent 9 months living and working in New Zealand. Those were the best 9 months of my life, and I can't wait to go back. And then I spent about 6 months in Scotland pre-COVID, training to be an outdoor instructor. And so this here is me in a cave in New Zealand. It's one of the coolest pictures I've got, and I love it. Um, but here's some pictures of my adventures in New Zealand, and I'll be honest, most of them are actually from the same expedition. But this was just an amazing day. This was in the Nelson Lakes on the left here. Amazing view with my boss William there and one of my other colleagues. And this is me when I was doing this 100-meter free hanging abseil, which, if you don't know, free hanging abseil is basically you don't have anything beneath your feet. Normally, when you're abseiling, you're against a rock and you're abseiling down, and you've got something grounded to put your feet on, and there's that sense of support there. No, this is nothing beneath your feet for 100 meters, and it is terrifying. Despite how happy I look, I was absolutely bricking it, but I loved it. It was one of the best experiences of my life. Again, in the Nelson Lakes there. This is jumping into Lake Rotoriti, which is one of the most amazing experiences. I loved it. Another one in the Nelson Lakes. And then this is me with my adopted family in New Zealand. William there, he's a very special man in my life. He's like a father figure to me. I suppose a grandfather figure almost. And my goodness, I look so young there. It's embarrassing. So we're going to move on. But yes, this would be my dream job if I can do it full time, Jenny. I would love it. Now, on to my project. This is Lobuche. Now, Lobuche is 6,119 meters high. And in case you didn't know, that's very, very high. I am going only to the east summit because you need a full-on expedition to do the western summit. It's a bit weird. So basically, it's only like a couple hundred meters higher, but because there's an exposed dip in between the western and the eastern summit, and you have to go along this ridge, you have to have a certain level of experience that I don't have yet. So it basically is the true summit, but not really. But we'll hide that fact because I'm not quite there yet. And this is basically what's going to happen when I'm climbing Lobuche. We'll start at the base camp at the bottom when I reach it. And then I don't think we're going to the lower high camp. We're going straight to the high camp. And then we'll get up at like 1 a.m. in the morning to go summit. And I will then be on this peak in the Himalayas. And I can't believe that. This is like a dream, a literal dream. And it's going to be insane, like full-on vertical, ice climbing, crampons, the works. And did I forget to mention, I'm scared of heights, so this could be interesting. And this is a challenge like never before, because this is me in the summer in Morocco. This is me at the summit of Mount Chibkau with my friend Steve. And then I've got a better picture that I love. It's so wonderful. And I can't wait to share some of the footage with you. I've looked through the photos. I need to edit them or learn how to edit photos. A lot of them, I didn't get very good photos because I was just experimenting with my camera and I was a bit rushed because I was in a group. But I'm going to look at the video footage as well and hopefully get something together. But needless to say, that was 4,000 meters and that was hard enough. This time round, it's another 2,000 meters higher, which is crazy. But that's not the only thing I'm doing. And welcome to those of you viewers that have just joined us. You can watch back on the live stream as I've explained my journey to this stage and my challenge to climb Lobuche. But essentially, this is what I'm going to be doing. As you can see here on the right, this is a map of the country of Nepal. Kathmandu is bang in the middle. And so I'm going to be going into Kathmandu. And we'll spend a day or two there before flying to Lukla, which is the world's most dangerous flight. So, yes, I have written my will before the age of 25, which is a bit bizarre and surreal. Anyway, so we'll take the flight to Lukla, and then we'll start to follow the normal Everest base camp route, because I'm not just climbing this mountain, Lobuche. This is only part of it. I'm mostly doing this because it's my dream to get to Everest base camp. So we'll start off on the traditional route to Pak Ding and then on to Namche Bazaar, where we will rest for the day. And then we will acclimatize because that's very important. You can't just go up to 6,000 meters. Otherwise, you would be in very, very serious trouble. You have to acclimatize. Otherwise, you could get altitude sickness. And I did start to feel it a little bit in Morocco. But I didn't plan this actually. I'm going to be in Namche Bazaar for the world famous Nepali market, which makes Namche Bazaar famous, the eponymous bazaar, and I'm excited for that. And then we sort of diverge because what I'm doing is I'm doing these things called the free passes. So originally I was just going to go to Everest Base Camp, and that would have been amazing. But then I found out you could do these 3 high passes as well, and you could loop in with Everest Base Camp. And I thought that's amazing. You know, I can do these really insane challenges and push myself. And then I found out you could also do what they call trekking peaks, which Lobuche is the highest or one of the highest and one of the hardest of those. And so I decided to challenge myself to do it all at once. And so we're going to follow the route up here through the 3 high passes, the Gokyo Lakes, which I'll show you pictures of those later. We have the Renjo La Pass as our first one, the Chola Pass, and then further on we have the Kongma La Pass. Now, either of these passes would be an insane challenge for most people, including myself. So to do all 3 of them and climb this mountain, I'm really setting myself up for a big challenge. And apart from running my 5K weekly, I have not been preparing, and I don't know how well this is going to go. But of course, along the way, we're going to go to Everest Base Camp and then come back to Lobuche, climb the mountain, and then finish with the Kongma Pass, and then make our way back down towards Lukla and get a flight back to Kathmandu. And all this should take me about 21, 22 days. So some of the things I'm going to see along the way, this is a picture of Namche Bazaar. This is the world famous Sherpa town and market. Now it's a bit touristy because everybody passes through here on the way to Everest Base Camp, including the people climbing Everest. But it's something that's unmissable and an experience, and I'm hoping that I can have fun exploring the markets and the side streets. There's some very good bakeries here, I hear. And then I'm also going to get the chance to acclimatize by climbing this little peak called Kalapata, which is basically famous for its view of Everest, and I'm hoping to go see an Everest sunset. And I've specifically chosen to go in March because it's going to be clear skies, and hopefully, and even though it's cold, it's going to mean that it's clear skies, clear views, so I can see the mountains. It's not covered in clouds. And this is the runway at Lukla. As I said, it is the world's most dangerous flight. And that is because the runway basically, that's a sheer drop. At the end there, that is a complete sheer drop. And so when you're coming in, it's a sheer drop both ways. So if you land wrong, you end up in the bottom of the valley. And if you don't fly off right, you end up in the bottom of the valley. So it is a bit of a risky one, but it is certainly an adventure. And then down here, last one is the Gokyo Lakes. These are the world famous crystal clear blue glacial lakes. And I don't think I'll be seeing all of them, but we'll certainly be seeing some of them along the way. And of course, the main attraction for me, apart from Lobuche, is going to be Everest Base Camp. And yes, I have imagined what it might look like if I'm there. There's me drinking my Baileys at Everest Base Camp, causing general chaos. I probably will have a drink when I get there, just a little something just to celebrate. And here's where you guys come in, because we need your help. And this is probably one of the most exciting parts about this for me, because I don't want to be one of those typical tourists that just goes to a place and takes advantage of the hospitality there. And even though I'm paying for it and everything, I wouldn't want to leave that place in the same way that I found it, when I know that there's such a need there. And so I've teamed up with the Pehar Trust, which is a Nepalese-based charity which has a UK-based subsidiary, and we are going to be fundraising for some of their projects. So, who are the Pehar Trust? Well, as I said, they are a Nepalese-based charity with their mission to build educational and healthcare facilities in rural Nepal to improve opportunities for children, young people, and their communities. I think that that's a worthy cause that we can all get behind. A little bit about the history. So, the trust was started in 1991 by 2 ex-Queen's Gurkha engineers and friends. Their names were Chandra Gurung and Tom Langridge. So you had one of the Nepalese guys and one of the British guys, which has been a staple of the charity from the start. This combination of the assistance that can come from Western countries, as well as making sure that the right help goes to the right communities, and that it's, at the heart of it, it's run by the Nepalese people for the Nepalese people. Now, their initial aim was only to provide a new school building in Chandra's home village. It was a very, very modest beginning. And this school was in a very, very poor state of repair. And in the evenings, it was even used by animals to shelter because, it was just in that much of a state of disrepair. But after completing this first school, they couldn't stop when they knew that the need was so great. So they took on the challenge to support a second, and then a third, and here we are still going. So fast forward 32 years, how much impact have they had? Well, they have delivered over 250 projects, including nearly 200 new or refurbished school buildings. How amazing is that, with all the money that's gone towards them, that they've had so much of an impact on the people of Nepal? It's also provided new health centres, libraries, IT suites and wash facilities, which to us might seem trivial, but to the people of Nepal, that's so, so important. And it's estimated that they've helped 250,000 lives. That's just incredible, how something that's relatively small can affect people in such positive ways, and so many people. So a little bit about Nepal, the country. In case you didn't know, it's a relatively small country. It's landlocked, so it's got China to the north and India to the south. It's smack bang in the middle of the Himalayas, and it's basically this collision, because I was reading, some of you may know, I was reading this Himalaya book about the geography of it, and it's basically the result of this collision between the European and the Asian plates, the Eurasian plates, and that's what's formed the Himalayas to go up, and why Nepal has ended up landlocked. There are three main regions: Terai, Himalaya, and the Middle Mountains, or Pehar, in the middle of the country. Their current population, as of late 2023, is around 30 million, with roughly 80% of people living in rural communities. I mean, for us, probably 80% of us live in fairly kind of metropolitan context. I don't think many of us could imagine, 80% of a population living in rural communities and the impact of that. The majority of these communities rely on agriculture for their livelihoods. This isn't something that's a beacon of modernity. This is something that's still very rooted in traditional culture and ways of life. And many people travel overseas because there's just not that many opportunities for work, which has just left Nepal in this state where the future generations are leaving because the situation isn't that great unless you're in one of the major cities, and a lot of them end up exploited. We've seen that in Qatar with the World Cup, with the workers. A lot of those were Nepali people that were sent over there, and it's horrific to think about. And as described to me by Alan, who is the director that I've been coordinating with in the UK, he said that it's really hard to communicate just how remote Nepal is through images alone. It's something that's so removed from our experience of our everyday life. And it is something that needs to be experienced. And of course, it has the beauty of that setting, and we get so much tourism, and that's such a big part of their economy. But we don't actually always see the real Nepal. We see the smiles and the friendly faces and the hospitality, but actually behind all that, there's problems that we can come together and help solve and help the people of Nepal. So some of the work they've recently done, mainly focusing on education projects. You can see here, this is before and after of the secondary school. They built a new 10-room, 2-story building. Here's another one, another before and after. I mean, it's just amazing to see the difference and to understand the difference it's made in these children's lives. Particularly, I think there's one coming up. There's more pictures here of this next one. This is the outside of the previous pre-primary classroom, and you can see in the after picture that there's now a water supply to the building, which is vital because before that they had to carry the water up, so there's a very limited amount, and so there's limited washing, which obviously is not very hygienic and can lead to healthcare problems and all these nasty things. And this is an upcoming project that they're really excited to work on. As you can see here, they just don't have enough space for all the children at the school. On the left, you can see the youngest children, their classroom is under this staircase. If you even imagine, we had all these nice little plastic chairs and different things and tables, and we had all the resources you need, all the scissors and glue sticks that you could throw your anything money at. And these guys are just being educated under a staircase. And it's just not fit for purpose. In the right, this is the existing toilet block, and it lacks running water. A toilet block lacks running water. The idea is that they'll renovate this and they'll provide a new forum building so that they have additional space to educate the youngsters, a brand new toilet block with running water, of course, and refurbishment of the existing building. They've already begun working on this with support from donors and the volunteer group who visited in December, just gone. And the new building is going to be built in the space here. And on the right is a photo of all the students and teachers and some of the parents in front of the building that's going to be refurbished. Now, the other thing that they do is they have this initiative called Science in the Sky, and it's a brand new pilot program to help improve STEM education in rural Nepali schools. Because I think so many of us, we take for granted science because it's a way out of poverty. It's a way to advance their people, and particularly as Nepal is affected by climate change, especially with the melting glaciers, it's really, really important that we equip the people of Nepal, the future generations, with the tools with which they're able to help themselves. So why STEM? It's a vital part of quality education, and it supports aspects of development to help Nepal bring themselves and develop themselves. As I said, it will help, particularly with the climate crisis, to help mitigate the changes, and we hopefully it will help the people in Nepal help themselves, and they won't be reliant on people like us to help them, that they can do the things they need for themselves. Because as we've seen in the last few years, we don't want to be some kind of like Western savior. We want to enable the people in Nepal to help themselves. You can see here some of the students enjoying some of the projects that the Peha Trust has provided. And the problem that they have is that the teachers, they're enthusiastic about this, but they've not had subject-specific training, and the children are really wanting to learn, but they don't have the tools, the practical tools. A lot of it is done by rote, and that's not exactly the best way to learn. You learn by playing, by doing things practically. I mean, this is an example of a science lab in Nepal. There's not even a single sink or a Bunsen burner. I mean, we had one of those on every desk in our classroom. And to think that these guys are doing lessons with so much less, it's we need to help them do something about this. So phase one of this project is that they're going to have a cluster of 4 schools that they're going to launch us in. They're going to give brand new science labs with all new equipment. They're going to train the teachers and encourage collaboration so that those teachers can go out and train other teachers. And they're going to develop support networks to try and kickstart this STEM initiative. And the estimated cost of that is £21,000. And their future aspirations are to establish a STEM fund specifically for, ring fence for STEM to support future programs, roll out training and continue rolling out this program, and keep raising more funds so that we can help spread this across the entirety of Nepal. And so what is my target? My target is £3,000 in 3 months. Yes, I know it says dollars, but unfortunately my refurbished laptop is an American one, so it only has the dollar sign on it, but it is going to be £3,000, which is just under $4,000. I know that's a lot, but as you can see, I love to set myself big challenges, and I think we can do this. £1,000 a month. I think that we can do this. We can help the people of Nepal, and if every if every person that had watched the video or watched this live stream donates less than the cost of a Netflix subscription for a month, because that's £10.99, and if each person donated £5 or £10, we'd already be at £1,000. So I really believe that we can do this, and together we can help the people of Nepal. And so there we go. Here is the link that you can find. It's my Just Giving page. So it's justgiving.com/Lobuche Challenge 2024. And for those of you technologically minded, there's a QR code there. You can find me on there. Ask me any questions. I will always answer about my adventures, my itinerary, about Pay Hard Trust. And if I can't find the answer, I will reach out to Alan for you and find out the answer. I can't wait to see what together we can do. Right, so let's stop that screen sharing. So that's basically it. If you guys have any questions, I think it's just you watching now, Jenny, or whoever, my one viewer. Let me know in the comments down below. If not, there will be a link to the Just Giving page on my Twitter page. And I'll definitely be promoting this over the next couple of months. So thank you for watching. If you're watching live or if you're watching the playback, I really appreciate every single view and every single donation. It really helps, no matter what the end amount is that we fundraise. I really appreciate even just a single pound. We can help change lives. So yes, am I nervous? It's interesting. I've said this to a couple of people. I had this when I went to Morocco, right? Where you dream about this for so long, or you plan this out for so long, and you're like so excited, and oh, this is a new thing that I've never done before. I've never been this high before. But then you think ahead to the future, and the closer you get, it's like the closer you get, it's almost like it doesn't become real, and so I'm right now, my main attention is actually on planning my Southeast Asia adventures because that's new and exciting. I suppose it's a similar thing sometimes to what I hear from writers, that actually there's that new project that they're working on, and they're just trying to get to the end of their first project, and it's always the shiny new project. And yeah, so I to answer your question, I am nervous, but I'll be honest, I haven't really thought about it that much because I've got so many other things to be excited for that actually I don't think it's going to hit me until about a couple of days before. And then, if it's like Morocco, it will hit me really hard on the day. I had exactly the same thing. I was so excited. I was sharing with my grandparents all my plans and my camera and all the different things. And then as soon as it got within about 2 months, it was almost like it wasn't real that it was happening, and so I would forget about that, and then my next focus was on this, and now I'm doing this, and it's only a month before I go away. My focus is now on Southeast Asia, and so that's my excitement, but I don't know what to expect. So yeah, there's a very long-winded answer, but I am nervous, but I'm not thinking about it too much because it's so surreal that I'm doing this and I'm taking a month off of work because I work like every day. This is a rare day off. Like even on a day off, I do my best to find work so that I can pay for this stuff. Um, yeah. Any other questions? I mean, you can ask about my reading as well, or anything, or about my future plans. Um, I'll probably keep streaming for another 10 or 15 minutes at least. Let's go see if anyone's said anything on Twitter. Or... few people retweeted. I think that people are gonna watch this live. As I said, I don't think I planned this very well in terms of timing. Well, actually, so I haven't read much further than that. I'm a big mood reader, as you know. Um, and so I kind of went off the mood of that one because it's quite dense. It's very geographical. But there are two things that I'm doing. Number one is I'm listening to what's it called Into the Silence, which is really interesting because it's about the early Everest expeditions. So 1921, 22, the famous one in 24 when Mallory and Irving went missing, and about the connections to the First World War, what they would call the Great War, because most of those people on those early expeditions had experiences in the First World War, and that one's a really interesting one. So we went through the First World War, and oh my goodness, like we get diaries from these soldiers in the First World War, and it's horrific, like vomit. Excuse me, vomit-inducing horrific. Like the private notes that just go into sheer detail, the literal grisly and gruesome bits. It's just horrifying what these people went through. And then it went into the early history of the exploration of India, and then now it's going on to George Mallory. And we had an interesting sort of diversion into early Edwardian history and homosexuality in Edwardian times as young boys experimented, and now they're just on their first expedition in 1921, which is exciting. And the other book I'm reading is this one, which I found when I went to meet Tom Bookbeard and Charlie Cavendish and a bunch of other authors and reviewers about a month or so back. And I found it in the Waterstones. It's called Hi by Erica Fatland. I recommended it on my TikTok account. She's a Norwegian travel writer, and she traveled all the way through Pakistan, India, Bhutan, and China, and of course Nepal. And basically I've loved it. I've pretty much read like three-quarters of the way through it in a couple of weeks. Like it's so good. It's really funny, it's insightful, and there's a particular insight on the culture and religions, but also especially women in the culture of Nepal and the high Himalaya. And so it's really interesting as a male who hasn't experienced that life of being a female and what it's like to have to deal with the things that some women deal with, and in particular how these females live in the Himalayas and what their lives are like. So it's really interesting, and I've flown through it, so I highly recommend that one. I may be taking one book just so that I can leave it at a hostel. Um, that's for Southeast Asia. If you're talking about going to Nepal, I'll probably take one book with me. I can fit one book in, probably my Kindle as well, but I can only take one. Society of the Snow. I need to watch that movie. I've been wanting to watch it. I have read the original book Alive by Piers someone. I've watched the original movie. I've got a book by one of the survivors that I've not read, but yeah, I've started but not read when I was younger. I've not finished it. It doesn't bother me. I love to read those stories. Actually, it doesn't worry me. You know, if frankly, if I die on this mountain, which shouldn't happen because it's a very well traversed mountain, um, I'm doing what I love. So yeah. Oh my god, I feel like that's gonna be in a Netflix documentary about me if I die. Not to sound like I'm full of myself, but it's like one of those moments where it's like a documentary about somebody that went missing and they show a live stream of when they talked about, a video of them talking about themselves. But yeah, this one I highly, highly recommend. I really loved it. It's really easy to read. It's not dense. It's not thick. It's just like a really nice, friendly travelogue. Yeah, it is a beautiful place. If it does happen, I can't think of a better place to die. Oh, this is surreal. Yeah. Have you got anywhere that you'd like to go to someday, Jenny? Anywhere adventurous? I mean, Scotland's pretty adventurous in itself. I need to try and find. I think in my laptop, I think I lost that footage when my laptop broke. I think I lost my footage from Scotland, because I was going to edit that, and I was getting to the stage. I was like, right, I'm gonna, today I'm gonna get my footage onto the computer, and if I get that done, then that's it. Take it small steps at a time, because I've had this footage for ages and I just haven't done it. I keep procrastinating, but then, as I said, I think I've lost it. I can't seem to find it anywhere unless it's on my hard drive, which I haven't tried yet. But yeah, but I do have my Morocco footage. I need to look through it. I've got a lot of TikTok stuff I need to put together as well. Ooh, yeah, I'd love to do that. That's my not my dream, but I'd certainly like to explore that if I met the right person as well. Certainly in New Zealand, that's a very popular thing to do. So I'm just trying to get driving lessons up and going again. The lady actually just texted me 9:30 to 11:30. I'll have to text her later. But yeah, no, I love that van life. I think that idea. I don't know if that would change as I grow older. At the moment, I'm like, I can't see myself settling down before 30. That gives me 5 years. After that, who knows? But I'm excited. It's hitting me because originally I was planning Southeast Asia. It was going to be 6. There's going to be 3, 4 months. Then it moved to 6 months, and now it's going to be going on 9 months, which is I suddenly realized the other day that's how long I spent in New Zealand, and I'm going to be doing that, just traveling. Apart from 1 month, I'm going to be planning to volunteer, so it's only 8 months actually traveling every day. But yeah, I don't know what that's going to be like, and I don't know if you're on TikTok, but if you saw my TikTok, I got so emotional, like unbelievably so, when I actually booked my flight to Asia, to Thailand. I couldn't believe it, because that's going to change my whole life. And yeah, so before I go, I'll just talk a little bit about my plans. So I want to do more like interviews. So I'm really hoping, or me and Verdi are going to set up an interview. He's going to be my first one. He's a very close friend, a very special friend and supporter. And that's going to be on my new channel, Miggins Meets World, where I'm going to start my own live streams and podcasts similar to Beard of Darkness. So it's not going to be just focused on books. Although I am going to be talking to a lot of authors. I'm going to be talking to Johnny Wirtz, hopefully. Well, definitely. We just need to slot it in. I'm basically just waiting because we had TBR Con and everything. A lot of people have been busy, so we're going to wait to try and slot an interview with Ronnie in, because I promised him that he would be my first interview. And then we're going to get people on, like my family. Some of my cousins have been traveling for a year. We're going to get some TikTokers on that have done travel. I'm going to try and hopefully get some bigger names of people with extraordinary stories to tell. That's it. It's basically the idea is that I get people on and I ask them a question like, so what's your story? Just kind of start telling me your story. So I'm really excited about that. So there'll be a lot of authors that but I'm going to try and keep it away from talking about their books specifically and more just about their stories and kind of, yeah, the idea behind it is that I'm kind of meeting different people from different, kind of spheres of humanity and kind of learning from them what it means to be human and meeting different people from different areas of life and sharing that with everyone. So I'm super excited for that. It's probably starting with Verdi, hopefully next month. And then hopefully from there, I'll be doing at least a monthly interview with folks, and hopefully we can get a little podcast going. You can also follow along my TikTok, Miggins Meets World. I've just got over 1,000 followers on there. That's what my main focus is right now. But I will pop on here as well for live streams and book related stuff, especially talking about the wonderful Janny Wirtz, Words of Light and Shadow, as that comes up to her, groundbreaking finale. So yeah, well, thank you for watching, everyone that's been watching, and if you're watching back, thank you for sticking with me. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can find me over on Twitter, over at Hobbit Hole Books. You can also find me on TikTok at Miggins Meets World, Miggins1610 on Instagram, the Just Giving page. You can go click that link or go to the QR code. It'll take you directly there. You can give your donations. I'll keep it live for 3 months. We're hoping to raise $3,000, but as I said, anything, I really appreciate that. and together, hopefully, we can do something to bring some good to the people of Nepal. Yeah, I can definitely appreciate that. Well, I definitely look forward to showing you some of mine. I definitely need to pull myself together and get that footage done. I need to learn how to color grade it all first. That's it. It's such a big sort of learning curve that I need to have the time, and I'm investing so much into earning money to fund my travels that I just don't have the time. But hopefully, we're going to make it happen. You know, as I said, if I take in those little increments of right, okay, today I'm going to get my footage on the computer and I'm not even going to look at it. I'm just going to move it to the computer. Then tomorrow I'm going to look at it, and then the next day I'm going to, and it goes forward. Hopefully, we get it. Anyway, I'm going to go out for a walk. And enjoy your evening. I'll be back soon. I'll be doing some reading experience, hopefully. I'm sure I'll be doing more streams related to this. It'd be cool if we could get Alan on from Pay Hard Trust to do a little interview with him. We'll see. But hopefully looking forward to going on this adventure, sharing it with you, and hopefully doing some good for the people in Nepal. See you next time.